Okay, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be doing a review on the LG XO2 360 speaker. Relatively new offering from LG, I think in the last kind of 6-7 months. Retails for £200 at the moment, straight from the LG store. Much lighter than you'd think, actually. It's kind of like the first thing I noticed. It weighs 0.86 kilos, so like not even a kilo, not even a bag of sugar. It's really light, quite small, but the design is really nice. These speakers from LG are great. They've definitely got better in the last couple of years as well. These kind of design, you know, we've got USB-C charging at the back, single power button, and then the rest of the controls are a kind of touch panel on the top. So you can change all the lights and volume and Bluetooth settings from up there. And then you've got this kind of floating candle design. I think this light show at the moment is just called Candle, kind of candle light effect. So yeah, as you'd expect, kind of looks like a candle. I love the design of these speakers, although I've never really been a massive fan of the light show that they give off. I just think it's a bit kind of like tacky almost, unfortunately, and they don't sync with the music like at all from what I can see. The features in the app, you can change the effect, and you can change the colors and choose different kind of light shows, but I think the underlying thing is that it looks tacky. The options don't match the speakers. Like there's one option which is like a party rave setting, and the whole thing lights up with with rainbow colored disco lights. On a speaker that looks this kind of premium and stuff, I just don't think it works at all. I just think it looks really bad. So, you know, feel free to complain about the same thing again, but I don't like the light show on this speaker. I think the options in the app are all kind of just as bad as each other. The candle one, as I've got it on now, seems to be the one that suits it best, but I still think it's like in some way a wasted opportunity. I'm not quite sure how you would do it better. That's not really up to me to decide, but I'm not a massive fan of the actual light show. But the rest of the design of the speaker is really nice. The materials used are nice, and the effect of this kind of floating candle thing is very, very cool. The touchscreen panel on the top is very nice as well. The rest of the specs, so we've got like an IP55 water resistance rating, so not quite as high as some others, obviously probably due to the kind of weird design that's going on here. So it's more like water resistant, but you wouldn't want to take it out in the rain or submerge it or anything like that if you could help it, because yeah, not necessarily going to survive. It does run off Bluetooth 5.3, so just as new as you're going to get at the moment. You know, nice range, nice consistency in the connection. It's got 4 hours, it will take 4 hours to charge the battery, and it will last for 15 hours playing, so that's very impressive. Obviously could be used as an outdoor speaker. That battery life is good enough for it, although whether you'd want to take this outside to get dirty, I'm not sure. To me, this kind of looks more like a little home speaker offering. Rather than something you'd ever take outside. It's a bit too nice for that. It's not got the kind of rugged look of a JBL speaker. So we've got a 3-inch woofer, a 1-inch tweeter, and 1 passive radiator. Is all the specs that the LG website gives us. And it does say it's got 20 watt of output power, which sounds like it's a bit low, to be honest. It sounds a bit like when you're actually listening to the speaker, you'd probably guess that it's a bit louder than that. But obviously you guys can let me know what you think. So spec list is pretty average, nothing crazy going on there. The design is really nice. The light show is pretty average. So now we get to check the most important thing out, which is obviously the sound itself. So it's 360 speakers, so it doesn't really matter which way I face it, but I've got the front facing the camera anyway, just in case there's a slight bit of bias doing that. And we'll have the decibel meter on and the frequency chart, and we'll see what goes on. So sound test over. Not quite sure how it came across on camera. Hopefully pretty accurate. It's not an overly loud speaker, I'll be honest. Like you could, you can quite happily sit like 30-40 centimeters away from it at 80% volume, like that was, and be quite happy with it. It doesn't blast anyone's head off, but I guess that's kind of the nature of 360 speakers, is they're never really going to do that. The response chart is pretty average, nothing crazy going on. The high end drops off lower than you'd kind of expect to see, I think. Like we've got it quite flat over here, and then it just kind of tails off for the high end a little bit, and then even more so, quite a big drop there at like 13,000. So nothing crazy. Like it's not terrible, but it's nothing crazy either. Kind of we're getting about 60 hertz to kind of 17,000 roughly, before it really tails off. So yeah, I mean pretty flat across the board, I suppose, but pretty average really, nothing to really comment on. You can tell we were sitting like 60-70 decibels, so not too loud either. I mean, I do like this. I'm kind of taught. I mean, I like the design language. That's the best thing about it really, is the way it looks and the build quality, but there isn't really anything else that stands out. The spec list has nothing crazy. The water resistance is below average really. Bluetooth version's good, but everything else, battery life is pretty average, like 15 hours. There's speakers that can do 24 hours nowadays, so 15 hours, pretty average. And yet the price is quite high, £200 for a speaker that doesn't even weigh a kilo, and has 20-watt output power is high. Like, I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me there. I think for £200 you can get better value for your money. I'm just not sure who this is going to be great for. It just doesn't really kind of stand out anywhere, I guess, apart from the design. So this is kind of, I guess that's it really. It's just more of a statement, something to keep in your living room or your bedroom, and to have it look nice, and play some kind of background music. It's good quality, but it's nothing loud, nothing you'd use for any type of party or kind of sing along type thing. Like, you'd want it as background music that looks nice and has a little candle effect, I suppose, but kind of a niche there, and maybe not worth £200.